Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Parker. I've been a firefighter for over 5 years now. For some of you who haven't been watching the previous episodes, I'd like to give you an update. My whole goal on this channel is to provide value and give you guys the tools necessary to pursue a career in the fire service. So today we're going to be working on interview prep, going to stations, and how to prepare for these oral boards that are going to be happening in your hiring process. Some of these tools you can take home with you as well and practice in front of the mirror or on camera. So I'm excited, let's get into it. The first step is getting actual exposure. The best way that you're going to do this is going to a fire station and doing a mock oral board. So this might be helpful if you know someone in the fire service, or you have a family friend, or you reach out. Whatever the case, go to a fire station, bring a hard copy resume, dress up nice, and pick a date for you to go and practice your interview skills. If you're already at a fire station and you're doing a ride along, awesome. Try and sit the crew down, ask if you have time to do a mock oral board. Most crews would be happy to help you with this. It helps if you bring a resume to your ride along so they can sit down. They can write stuff while you're doing interview prep and answering the questions, and they can clean up your resume. If you are strictly just doing interview prep and showing up to the station, you're gonna dress a little bit differently. In that case, you'll do a suit and tie, a collared shirt, or a button up. These are just a few examples, but talk to the firefighter who's setting up that interview prep for you and see what they recommend. Before going into the station, it's always important to know some facts about the department. Because every fire department is very diverse, it's important to have some facts like what is their mission, what are their values, what types of calls for service do they respond to? Are they an all hazards department? Meaning, do they respond to fire and EMS? Do they have a hazardous materials response team? Do they have a technical rescue team? Do they have a marine operations division with a rescue boat? These are just some examples of things to know before you walk in to show that you're professional and that you have some information about the department, and it shows that you care. Years ago, when I was doing mock interviews, I would show up to the station with a pen, some sort of note paper, and a few hard copy resumes, one for each crew member. I would also bring some sort of treat to show the crew that I appreciated their time. When you start your mock interview at the station, most crew members are gonna take a resume, they're gonna look at it as they're asking you questions, and they're gonna take some notes. They might cross things off on your resume, and they also might add stuff just to help you and give you feedback. So it's important to have an open mind after the interview prep and listen to what they have to say so you can get better. Before you go in for a mock interview, it's important to master your response to some common questions. So when you go in for your mock interview, you're gonna be asked, why do you wanna be a firefighter? You also might be asked, tell us about a time when you've been a part of a team and you've had to accomplish a goal or solve a conflict. Another question may be, what does integrity mean to you and how have you demonstrated it? Another one is going to be, tell us about a time you had a conflict with a coworker and how you resolved it. Some of these questions are asking for the same answer, but are asked differently. So just remember that. A few other common questions are, tell us about yourself, and what have you done to prepare for a career in the fire service? Sometimes these can be used together, like tell us about yourself and what have you done to prepare for a career in the fire service. So it's important to know and have an answer for some of these questions and make it personal. Make it connect with your life. If you played sports growing up, talk to that. If you were a part of some type of organization or volunteered, speak to that, because that's included in the fire service. If you were valedictorian or you were a team captain, make sure you speak to those things in your answers so you can give connections to the people that are sitting in front of you. And that crew is going to be writing down what they know about you, and making those connections. It's important not to sound rehearsed when giving your answers to a question, but it's important to sound knowledgeable and confident when giving a response. A lot of times the interview panel, what they're looking for is if you have good values, they're looking if you have integrity, they're looking to see if you've worked in a team, if you can handle problems, if you can perform under pressure, and to see if you want to learn and move forward in your career. So a lot of these questions are based around what qualities they need in firefighters. When responding to a question, it's important that you have a proper method. So one of the proper methods that I go about is using the SAR method. This stands for situation, action, and result. So if you were asked a question, like when was a time that you had a conflict and how did you handle that, or how did you resolve that conflict? It's good to start with the situation, so you paint the picture, you tell the story, you give a personal example. Then you go about by giving the actions you took to resolve that conflict. How did you talk to the person? How did you approach them? Next, what result did you get from it? So, how was it resolved, basically? So, good rule of thumb, try to relate every answer at the end back to the fire service, just so you understand what you're applying for and how you can relate it back to the people that are sitting in front of you and have been doing the job for however long. So here's some other tips just to recognize when you're giving a response. You never want to speak negatively about other people in an answer. Another tip is you don't want to ramble or go off topic. Usually you have a set time to answer certain questions in the interview panel. It's usually around 2 minutes. So don't go too long, but don't go too short. If they ask you in a mock interview, is there anything you'd like to add after all the questions? You always speak to that. You always go back to maybe something you missed or something that you didn't fully speak to, and that is your chance to sell yourself. Not in a cocky or overly confident way, but speak with confidence, speak with purpose. And they just want to see if you can speak to your experiences and give concrete examples. A common mistake I see with a lot of candidates is they give cliche answers and they don't give any real backing. This doesn't give a good gauge on who you are. So like I said earlier, make it personal, paint the picture, give a story. Everyone on that interview panel is trying to connect with you in some certain way. So the better that you can be about being real, the better chances you have of getting hired. Before I got hired on as a firefighter, I did around 10 mock interviews with different fire stations. This is a great way to get exposure because you're getting feedback from different people. So I recommend this to everyone who's trying to get hired. Go to different stations, talk to different firefighters, and go home, videotape yourself, practice in front of a mirror, read your body language. How am I talking in front of the camera? How am I talking in front of the mirror? Am I monotone? Or do I have excitement in my voice? Do I speak with my hands too much or too little? Do I look like a robot? Is my body language healthy? Am I slouched over or am I sitting up straight? So these are all important things to think about when you're doing your interview prep. After your practice interview, the crew is going to be going over how you responded to each question. This is a great time to take notes and ask how you can get better for next time. I remember sitting down with multiple different crews and having pages and pages of notes. And a lot of the stuff that I'm speaking to now is because I've learned how to give concrete examples. I've learned how to narrow down my answers and get to the point. All right, everyone, that's all I got for today. Thank you for watching, and I'm excited to help you on this journey. I know all the hard work I put in has been extremely rewarding for me in the fire service. The career is amazing, so I'm really excited for you guys to put this work in and get the results that you want. Just remember, first impressions are huge, so dress up nice, clean shaven, and show up to the station with a good attitude, and you'll be fine. All right, I'll see you guys soon.